Okay, we are live. Welcome to Ask Me Anything Sunday night show. This is Jason. As you can see, this is already episode 42. So what's going to happen today is we have got quite a number of, we don't have a lot of questions, but today's questions are very, very specific. We have the questions about, analyzing Facebook ads, as in like how do we actually look at the analytics, as in like the metrics available, and how can we actually make sense of it. How do we actually look at things like that? And we have another questions about how do we play with the lifetime budget, as in like when we are planning campaign, how do we play with the lifetime budget? And we have another questions about choosing e-commerce platform, meaning that as you want to open an e-commerce store, there are many options available to actually allow you to open the e-commerce store, and what are the options available. So basically, that's what we're going to cover today. But nonetheless, if you're watching this, whether you're watching the replay or if you're joining me live right now, post your questions as usual. Here's what we do, right? We are going live inside this Facebook group that you're at right now, as well as my YouTube channel. What we do is we answer Facebook ads related questions every week. So all the questions that you have posted on my YouTube channel or my Facebook group will be answered in this AMA session. I will not be responding to your direct questions via comment directly. Okay, just want to make things clear so that we don't have any misunderstanding coming in between, right? So if this is the first time you see me, my name is Jason. I have been helping brands, big and small, navigating success on Facebook advertising and digital marketing since 2010. So over the years, I have worked with over 5,000 individuals from 27 countries right now. So I used to run a digital agency, as in we do really like helping clients to manage. But just that started last year. For those who know the agency industry specifically, you know that it is not a very easy task to manage a digital agency. You want to look at a few angles coming in here. Like, for example, I always like to tell people running an agency is fun in terms of gathering or gaining your experience. But the biggest challenge I face 10 years running an agency is, I believe the biggest challenge would be, it's very difficult to scale an agency business. If you are, from agency, you can relate, right? Like, it's always it's kind of like a balance that you need to strike in between, because the more clients you get, the more people you need to actually hire in terms of fulfilling, the tasks and the jobs in between. All right. So the more people you have, the more clients you need to bring in order to balance the whole thing. So in a way, right, it's very difficult to grow and increase revenue or even profit in a very meaningful way. But of course, I've got friends who've grown his agency to over 100 people recently. They've been around for about 10 years now. They have just crossed the 100 employee mark a few months ago. It's a choice. Okay, the moment you're at that level, then you're playing at a different field. So running it for 10 years, I realized that's not really something that I want. So I decided to, change my focus. So for all of you, probably you know that I've been training since 2016. You see, the thing about training is really like an accidental entry. All right. In fact, at that point of time, we were kind of like in a very crossroads situation. So I was presented in an opportunity to start training. So I was thinking, okay, why not, right? So I went on. So started with a very, very interesting, humble start with some helps coming from all the industrial players. I'm grateful for those who actually helped us start. So, but since I started, I realized that, hey, I like this thing. I realized I find more fulfillment when I teach. I find more fulfillment when I give value, as in like helping people to create the aha moment among them. So since 2016 up to now, I had the privilege to work with over 5,000 students from 27 countries and counting right now. It's a meaningful journey, to be frank. I get to understand, like recently, we were just looking at a case in Turkey. We're going to bring him to our show one day. This guy is really interesting. He actually market Turkey property to overseas market. He never sell his property to Turkish people, but he only sell his property to overseas market, mainly coming from Southeast Asia, and also Europe, as well as US and Canada. So he has a very, very interesting platform and framework. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to bring him in to discuss how he actually built his empire with that. But I got an opportunity to work with people like him. And of course, the other day we were just talking about, we were just talking to a brand founded in Korea. You know, the founders are still in Korea. They're working in Korea, but they're actually expanding themselves into the Southeast Asian market. So we're working together on that. I mean, it's meaningful because in that sense, right, I get to expand myself. You get what I mean? I hope you get what I mean. Instead of, because I mean, the limitation about running an agency is you have a lot of logistic, if you understand what I mean. Like you have to fulfill clients' needs, you have to monitor the campaign, you need to work on different angle, like even the creative and copywriting area. And then of course the biggest part of running an agency is, you know, the account management. You know, you have to manage the client, you have to work with them, you have to fulfill their whatever inquiries and all this kind of thing. It's not really something very easy, if you ask me. So I realized, hey, you know, so we managed to turn our business in a different way. So we scaled down. I used to have like, you know, a 10 plus people team. I'm grateful for that, for my team at that point of time. But then again, now I'm actually running at a very, very lean team, and we're 100% virtual. Actually, yeah, it's kind of a very interesting thing. So if this is the first time you see me, I'm actually thankful for, you know, thank you for, you know, actually allowing me to yam a little bit. I'm just in the hang of it, because today I was just attending another class, and he was just saying that, you know, to a lot of people, when it comes to whether it's Facebook advertising or even starting a business online, if you're on the fence, right? In fact, a lot of us, a lot of time when we are deciding whether we want to do that thing or not, it's really about the fear. So he was just telling the best antidote to fear is action. So yeah, I mean, it sounds powerful, right? So he was giving this metaphor. He was saying, you know, just like when you play roller coaster, before you go on the roller coaster, you'll be like, damn, you know, scared to death, because you're so anticipate and you're so scared, but you still have to go, right? And the moment you're actually queuing to it, and you'll be like, oh, come on, man. I mean, I'm so scared. The closer you are, I mean, when it comes to your turn, the more scared you are. So that's a very interesting. But the moment you jump on that roller coaster, okay, the moment you start riding, you know, the fear elevate, it become excitement. You get what I mean? And then when you come down, you'll be like, hey, come on, man, join me. It was fun. It was fun. Hey, but you forgot yourself. You were very, very scared just now. So, so a lot of times, right, when you see an opportunity, as here's what I wanted to be share with you guys, right? When you see an opportunity to change, see, a lot of times it's about experiencing it and knowing that whether you like it or not. So that's why, you know, I always believe that if you have a vision, if you have something that you believe you want to do, you got to do it. I think that's the best way to really, you know, see whether you like it or not. Like I've been running my agency for 10 years now, and I realized, hey, I don't like it, but I have accumulated the experience to launch myself as a coach. So it's kind of like a part and parcel of life. If you agree with me, I think a lot of us are business owners, and you know, you probably have experienced different kind of evolution, and, you know, change of direction and all this kind of thing, which are all 100% meaningful in my opinion, right? So yeah, I mean, okay, let's get to the questions. But nonetheless, remember, if you have any questions, whether you're watching this live or the replay, type away in the comment section. You know, we're just gonna answer them, okay? But before I go, I want to make an announcement. I mean, I believe you have seen the announcement anyway. So I've been doing free Facebook ads. I mean, not just Facebook ads, in fact. I've been doing free live training in my Facebook ads transformation Facebook group for the past few weeks now. You know, I'm having fun. It's kind of like a way for me to connect with my community and provide value along the way. And I believe providing value is the best way for us to build connection in between. So that's something that I've been doing, and I kind of enjoy doing it. So I'm in the role, all right? So coming Tuesday, okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, what I would encourage you to do is to go to Facebook and look for this Facebook Ads Transformation Facebook group and join the group. It's free to join, and you can invite your friends to join as well. If you're here, especially if you're in the group itself already, And I will strongly encourage that you share, invite any one of your friends who are advertising on Facebook to join this free training coming up on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Malaysia time. Is it like I have worked with, like I said, 5,000 over Facebook advertisers from all around the world. And in fact, there are some fatal mistakes that are totally avoidable. You just need to understand that mistake. You just need to get it right, the idea right, then eventually you will be able to save yourself from a lot of budget waste that it could have been used for something else much more meaningful. So yeah, that's something that I really want to share. So it's going to be in a 1 hour ish kind of training. I'm going to share at least 5 to 7 mistakes. I'm still planning the content, but they are mistakes that you are probably committing yourself that is really burning your money. And I want you to know that, and I want you to avoid that. So that's the training that is coming up on Tuesday night. So share this to any one of your friends who are advertising on Facebook and Instagram. They will thank you later. Okay, so that's coming up on Tuesday. Now the other, I have just announced another major training that I'm going to do on the 25th and 26th of September. Okay, it's going to be a weekend. It's a Saturday and Sunday. And, at 3 p.m. This is something, you see, I mean, when it comes to Facebook advertising, so-called, strategies and methods, there are different school of thoughts available in the market. You can actually go out and you can see, Facebook ads, there are different gurus and there are different methodologies. I would say all these methodologies are awesome in their own way, because else, they wouldn't have found a place for themselves, right? If they have a school of thought, they must be actually gotten something out of the strategy based on their own experience. That's why. But my methodology is I have been advocating about the evergreen campaign for the longest time. Now, I want to explain to you what really is the evergreen campaign. Now, fundamentally, evergreen campaign is the kind of campaign that runs for a long time. I'm saying at least 2 to 3 months, and even some, the latest case that I've seen is a campaign that I've been running for 19 months, 19. Imagine 19 months, spend 100,000, close to 100,000 dollars spent, and they have generated thousands, close to 10,000 leads, reach about 1 million people at the count of about 5 million times. You just imagine that kind of impact that you can gain. First thing first, an evergreen campaign is the kind of campaign that actually saves you from the headache of constant change for the next best creative or copywriting formula, or even the next best audience targeting combinations and whatnot. In my opinion, right, a lot of people actually are too obsessed with all these things. You get what I mean? What I wanted to prove to you is there is a way, if you know how to set it right, it is a way to build a meaningful evergreen campaign, which, 1 year, 19 months, that is still getting that kind of optimum result. The cost per lead was so low. You imagine that kind of time or energy you can save from your constant hustle, and instead you can focus back your energy and your everything into building your business and growing your business instead. You see, a lot of us are small, medium business owners. We have very limited time. And in my opinion, there are really too many people investing too much time and energy focusing on Facebook ads. In fact, there is a way that you can build an evergreen campaign that gives you long-term success. And I'm going to teach you that in this 2 days training. So yeah, if you run Facebook ads, especially if you run Facebook ads, if you don't run Facebook ads also, you will find something very useful and meaningful to learn inside this. But I would always encourage you to, once you learn that, launch something on your own. Build your own evergreen campaign so you can start seeing a different kind of success. Yeah, that's really something that is proven. I've seen so countless of evergreen campaign, and it's possible. And I want to teach you how to do that. All right. So that's what's going to happen. Go to this link to sign up. You need to actually sign up and join a separate, different group on that, which we already have close to about 50 over people signing up right now. We just launched it yesterday. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Come join us. It's free anyway, right? Also, invite your friends. Okay, so now I want to go through the first question we have here from Fastly. Now, Fastly is my student, obviously. So Fastly has been asking questions. Thank you so much for, joining and participating in the group. And okay, now Fastly said he has created a carousel advertisement and optimized for link clicks, but somehow you're getting landing page view counts. You don't have any pixel installed or instant experience for this ad because you're actually driving people to your Shopee store. This has happened to you before, or other ads. You're curious about how is this happening. Okay, here's the thing. Theoretically, if you are driving people to a destination that you don't have the pixel installed, like in this case, we're talking about Facebook. I mean, driving from Facebook to your Shopee store. Technically, if you don't have pixel installed, you shouldn't be getting the landing page count. But nonetheless, sometimes it could be either. We have been saying this something similar as well. But you have to just monitor whether the count is accurate or it's correct or not, or it's actually logical or not. If not, right, I would say we just focus on the metrics that matters to us. Like, for example, I'll give you another angle. We do have a strategy to drive people to start WhatsApp conversation using traffic objective, all right? And we were optimizing for link clicks, but we will still get the landing page view count. You get what I mean? Okay, it's something similar, but nonetheless, okay, we have the number, then let's take a look at it. We monitor that. We just have to make sure that, it's something that is reasonable. If it's not, then ignore that, you see? It doesn't matter. Sometimes all the numbers may not be 100% accurate right now. Like recent case that we are observing right now, I've got a coachee that is selling on Shopee as well. They are having CPaaS access. So we were actually monitoring. We have good number of clicks and all that. That seems to be normal, as in like, the number of clicks, the number of product view and all that. But the problem here is when we come to the add to cart, initial checkout and even purchase, the numbers are not coming in. So because of a lot of reasons, because nowadays we have all these iOS 14.5 issue, and that actually causes a lot of so-called Facebook ads tracking issue. Like even recently, I have got my another student that is selling on Shopify. So he's saying that because he's suffering from inconsistency in his Facebook ads campaign, because after this iOS 14 change and all that, in fact, a lot of people opt out, especially those iPhone users and all that. They opt out from the tracking. That's why the purchase may not come back in time. So when it comes to e-commerce, this could be a bit sensitive. But to be frank, right, on my side, I see my numbers pretty accurate. It's like even conversion to purchase or even conversion to leads, it's pretty accurate. But it could be because of the platform issue. Like Shopify may have some, more serious delay because it's not the same so-called software that we're using. I'm using WordPress, and I'm actually doing my manual setup. A lot of things are actually pretty much done manually on my side, so I make sure that all the counts is correct. But in his case, that's the case. That's why when it comes to Facebook Ads Analytics, if you want to learn more, in fact, if you go to this Facebook group that you're already in, if you're watching this on YouTube, go to the Facebook group, Facebook Ads Transformation. Inside this Facebook group, right, I have actually so-called indexed all the previous free training that I did inside this Facebook group so that you can easily access. I did one Facebook Ads Analytics training for an hour or so. I give you the idea on how do you read the data and how do you actually make sense of the data to help you understand what decision to make and all this kind of thing. You should actually go and look into that. But nonetheless, if you need more help with your analysis, if you're Facebook Ads Analytics, you see, my methodology, my philosophy is very simple. To me, you see, a lot of people, when they run Facebook ads, a lot of times they're actually running this by luck. You get what I mean? You just launch a campaign, 50-50, whether it's doing good or not doing good, right? It's either or. But when it's not doing good, what a lot of people do is they just chuck the whole thing and throw it into rubbish bin and move on to create the next one. And it's like you're constantly gambling. You get what I mean? But here is the thing. In my opinion, when you run ads, you gather meaningful data. Although there might be some disconnection, like the other day we talked about, like the purchase data weren't coming in and all that. But there are still ways for us to gather data from different angles. So what we're going to do here is, if you need to make sense, what I'm actually always believing here is if you have done right or wrong, okay, whether you have a successful campaign or unsuccessful campaign, we must have done something right or wrong, and we need to dive in and find out. When you have an unsuccessful campaign, here's my take. You need to, in fact, instead of just throw it away, you need to come back and look at it again and find out what you did wrong, because that's the best way to make sure that you are not making the same mistake again in the future, if you agree with me. But a lot of people just don't do that. They just, let's move on and continue with the next gamble. So that's why I actually offer this one-on-one Facebook ads audit. This is only for the, for one campaign. So what you're going to do is we're going to spend half an hour together. We're going to dive into your Facebook Ads Manager, look at all the campaigns. In fact, not all, we won't be able to do all. We just have to identify a few of the campaign. And if immediately, I'll be able to dissect the numbers for you based on your campaign that you're running. And then eventually, I'm going to give you some actionable insights. I'm going to tell you that, look, this is where we screw up over here. I'm going to immediately tell you that whether it's ad problem or the combination problem or it's the objective problem, and I will tell you what to do next. I'll give you the idea of give you a good plan about how can you improvise for your next campaign. So that's a very meaningful exercise that I've been doing. We have good take up for this one. Go to this link. It's very affordable. Just come up and let's spend half an hour together to look at your ads campaign. You see, it's very important for you to find out what you did right or wrong, because you are spending money on it. All right. So if you need help, if you want us to come and take a look at your campaign, you'll be working with me anyway. So yeah, so go to this link and book one session. Then we will actually go through your campaign together. All right. So firstly, I hope I answered your question. This is a very, sometimes it could be some, I don't know, some analytical, whatever data come back wrongly and all that. But if you have it, then you monitor it. You just make sure that it makes sense for you. If not, then just focus on things that are more important, like things that will not go wrong. Like for example, the number of clicks, all right, the number of video views at a certain percentage. These are all not going to go wrong. All right, Faslin, thank you. Now, the next question we have here is from JJF609 on my YouTube channel. So he actually posted this on my video talking about the lifetime budget. You see okay, so his question goes, if you have a Facebook ad set that uses a lifetime budget for 1 month, so for the second month, should you use the same ad set, just change the lifetime amount and date, or do you need to duplicate the ad set and enter budget and new dates? Okay, good question. The answer is, when you set your campaign, or let's say, ad set, when you set your Facebook ad set to a certain duration, as in like the lifetime budget, Facebook will actually optimize in that particular lifetime to make sure that you get the most out of it based on the budget that you have entered. So once it's ended, usually this is what's going to happen. Okay, the moment you change the lifetime duration and you increase the budget and you restart it again, almost 95% you will not be able to get back the result that you were getting or you were enjoying in the previous lifetime. You get what I mean? Because the moment you go for lifetime, you know that your budget will not be equally distributed. Let's say if you go for a 1 month lifetime and you're spending about $300, for example, supposedly you'll be spending about $10 a day. But when you go for lifetime, you realize that sometimes you spend lesser, sometimes you spend more. And if you have a lot of budget left, right, towards the last few days, you will just rush your budget away and make sure that you finish spending the $300. So you know that it's not an equal treatment. So if you need to go for lifetime, we understand there are many reasons. Sometimes you need to set the, like you want to make sure that your ad can come up at only a specific time. In that case, right, if you want to reuse the same ad set with the audience settings and the ad, right, I would say the best way is to duplicate the ad set and give it a new date, lifetime, and give it a new budget. That's the right way to do. Okay, JJ? So yeah, you don't just increase the live budget or extend the lifetime. You're gonna screw up the campaign. You're almost 100% that you will not be able to get back the good result that you were enjoying in the previous lifetime. Okay, so that's for JJF609. Thank you so much for the question. Right, guys, remember, if you're watching this up to this right now, if you have any questions, you can actually type them away in the chat. If not, even if you're watching the replay, type your questions in. You just comment and I will be actually capturing them and answer your questions in AMA sessions like this. So that's how we roll, right? Okay, so and my last question over here, this is from Noor Kasuha binti Mamazaki. All right, so 3 days ago, he asked, I think this is she. So I like this kind of commanding questions. So she just came in and said that, can you just answer between Edwick, Easy Store, and Shopify? Which one has better integration with Facebook catalog advertising? You did study a lot. The 3 websites, all of them have pros and cons. You already had an answer, but for that, when you said about the FB catalog, when I need an answer for this, okay, put it this way, all right? I don't think you need somebody else to answer this thing, because first thing first, it's very difficult to find someone who is an expert in all these 3 platforms that you're talking about. Like, let's say you have Egwig. Egwig is a very, very niche. I don't think it's very famous in our part of the world. Easy Store is, yes, it's a lower entry, but Shopify is another ball game over there. But here's the thing, okay? I would say each and every one of them, if they have been running for a while, if they have been, in business for a while, up to now, they should have very matured integration with catalog. Because you talk about integration with Facebook catalog, they actually, you kind of like don't even need to do anything anymore in most of the case. You just need to make sure that your pixel is installed correctly, and immediately Facebook site will do all the things. But nonetheless, my friend, I believe all of this offers like at least a 7-day free trial. You see, all you need to do is just go in and use the 7 days free trial to set up and see whether you are satisfied with that. You see, sometimes, right, like for example, to be frank, I play with Shopify a little bit, and I find it kind of like, even we did a training the other day about Shopify integration with Facebook catalog. There are some even like hiccups, like, certain things over there. All right. So the other time we were just playing with Easy Store. There was once, and it's not mine, it's my coach's. Okay, it looks pretty straightforward. Okay, but there was certain issue about the certain SKU, integration pulling in, because it depends how complex is your SKU management. So if you have a very massive store, like, tens of thousands of products or SKUs and all that, and each one has got different variety and all that, there could be some issue on that. But nonetheless, I would say, you know what? Why not just go in and test it for 7 days or during the free trial and see whether it's to your liking or not. If it's not, then fine. I mean, let's move on to the next one. But I would say, here's the thing. I believe when you're looking at these kind of platforms and all that, I think it's about everyone has got its own pros and cons. You can definitely not able to find something that's 100% fitting to what you need. You just have to understand. You just have to go in and feel it. When you feel like it, then that's yours. If it's not, then okay, then fine. We move on to the next one. All right. So I hope I answered your question to a certain extent, because to me, this is how I play. This is whenever I want to make a decision whether which platform or which tool do I want to choose. I just use the free trial. I mean, that's the free trial for, right? Go in, let's try it. Let's do the integration. If you screw up, then okay, fine. I don't like this interface. I don't like this method of doing it. Just throw it, move on to the next one until you find someone that fits you the best. All right. So yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up to all the questions that we have. I just want to quickly do a quick recap. Remember, this Tuesday, we're going to have this Facebook Ads Mystic 1 hour training. I'm going to share with you, all the fatal mistakes that you must avoid as a Facebook advertiser. This money at stake. You want to make sure that you're not wasting money. And then remember, that's going to happen on the 14th of September, which is coming Tuesday at 9 p.m. If you're watching this replay, still go over to the Facebook group anyway, because we're going to have the replay archive and index inside the Facebook group. You can still come in and watch it. Okay, so yeah, so that's one. And I have this is the major launch that we're actually doing right now. We're actually expecting at least about 400-500 people to 1,000, depending on how we are actually planning the campaign right now. So this is a training I'm going to share with you in 2 days, how I build evergreen Facebook ads campaign that can help save you time and energy, and save you from the constant chase for the next best audience targeting settings or the next best creative and copywriting formula. In fact, you should focus back your energy and time into building your business instead. So that's what I've been advocating. But nonetheless, come join me. It's free anyway. It's a 2-day live training for free. I'm going to share with you exactly how I do all these things. All right. So that's what we have. And with that, I think we can actually wrap this round. And thank you so much. It's sharp half an hour. Awesome, right? So remember, we do this every Sunday night. And especially if you ask questions, whether you ask in my Facebook group or my YouTube channel, you need to come back here to listen to my answers. I don't reply to your comment in any way. I know this is counterintuitive. A lot of people say that, Jason, you should, but I have no time. All right. I'll see you in the next one, next week, same time at 10 p.m. And with that, let's wrap this one. Thank you so much, guys. See you on Tuesday. Bye.